Welcome to Unexplained Chronicles, where we will be exploring UFO, UAP, paranormal, and other unexplained phenomenon. I'm your host, Wolf, and in today's video, we are going to be diving into several sphere and orb UAP videos. Let's jump right in. Okay, so this first video comes to us from the New York Post, and this video was released 2 years ago. Now, this is an officially declassified UAP video straight from the Pentagon. It was released during a Senate hearing back in 2023, and this UFO was spotted in the Middle East. Let's set the stage a little bit here, shall we? So what you're seeing is an overhead view of somewhere in the Middle East. I'm not sure exactly where this takes place at. You're seeing the compass at the bottom. This is some type of military surveillance equipment and technology, and you're seeing this overhead view. You're seeing people walking around, and then oh my God. Okay, so you see what appears to be a metallic orb-shaped object, and if you look closely, you can see pretty much where the position of the sun is, because you can see the light kind of glinting off of it, and then you can see the shadowed side. Now, it appears to be moving in a straight line in one direction as this military equipment tracks it. It appears to be moving pretty damn fast. Let's take a look at that again. So you see it zip down across the screen. Now, if we pause it here, you'll see that there does not appear to be any visible means of propulsion, and that's going to be a common thread that we're going to see throughout pretty much all of these clips. Now, this clip does appear to have a lot of credibility because this is a declassified clip from the actual military. Fortunately, this clip doesn't have any sound. This didn't capture audio, but there probably wouldn't be anything to capture anyways. It goes over what looks like a farmland and then over several buildings. Now, there's no real way of judging how large this object is. It doesn't appear to be very big, but it's kind of hard to tell because we don't know what distance the video is being taken. It does appear that this footage was captured by a U.S. military drone, as it states in the description, and it's a mysterious spherical object zooming across the sky in an active military zone, which is also very interesting. Now, this is an interesting comment. This user says, the interesting thing is that the ball does not look as if it is flying, but as if it is swimming in a gravitational field. Very interesting comment, because a lot of people think that the method by which these objects maneuver is by manipulating a gravitational field in some way. That is way beyond my understanding. So this is an interesting one. I don't know what to think about this. I mean, it literally looks like a metal ball moving across the sky. All right, so the next clip, this one is kind of mind-blowing, I'm not gonna lie, and I've never seen this one before. It's from 2013. This clip comes to us from the YouTube channel Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies. It says it was submitted to their researchers in November 2013 by an official source. All right, so we have what appears to be some type of military tracking equipment tracking an object moving across the sky, and I don't know if this is in the daylight or at nighttime. I think that it might be in nighttime, and they're using some type of, I don't know, night vision or infrared or something like that. So you see the object moving across the sky, you see them tracking it, it's moving over what appears to be land, and this is in Puerto Rico, by the way, which is very interesting. So it's moving across a bunch of buildings. It's hard to make it out here at the beginning because it's, it's a pretty good distance away, but then they zoom in and get a little bit closer, and you see that this is a spherical object moving across the sky, and it's moving very quickly, and it appears to be moving in a straight line. I don't see that it's changing direction, and again, just like the last clip, no visual means of propulsion coming off of this object. All right, so now here's where things get very interesting. You see, now they're zooming in on it. It's moving across the ocean, a little bit zoomed out now, because what you're going to see in just a second is pretty freaking insane. It appears to like split into two different objects. You see one up there and one down here, and then it went into the ocean. It literally went into the ocean and disappeared into the water, and they lost track of it. That is insane. That is wild. Now, I don't know exactly where Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies got this clip. They do say it was an official source. To me, it looked just like the object we saw in the previous video, a spherical orb-like metallic object. Flux Freeman says this is still some of the best footage I've ever seen. Rarely gets mentioned. And Kevin has an interesting observation that I didn't even really notice. He says, did anyone notice how the object didn't disturb the water when it went in? Really creepy. That is a good point. It's obviously we're looking at this from a distance, so it's hard to say for sure, but I don't see any signs of the water being disturbed as it entered the ocean, which is very interesting. Okay, so the next clip comes to us from the legend himself, Jeremy Corbell, straight from his YouTube channel, Jeremy Corbell. The Mosul Orb UAP says it's CIA filmed UFO footage. It's just a 4-second long video, but you get a really clear shot of this orb. First, you'll see a screen grab, all right? Now you can see this is above a residential area in Iraq, and you see the orb itself. You see the sphere itself. And as you can see, it just seems like a smooth metal ball, which is insane. I don't quite know what to make of that, but let's move on to the actual clip itself. All right, so here we go. So now it's really quick. So if you blink, you're gonna miss it, but here we go. So it moves across the screen. They're going to play it again. It's only in the frame for a second. It moves very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. It just looks like a smooth metal orb moving across the camera frame. It's kind of wild. And just like the other clips that we have looked at thus far, there does not appear to be any visible means of propulsion. Which raises the question, how is this thing moving? What is it using to move across the screen like that? Now, this is a valid question from Dan here. Why is it massively reduced resolution? The camera system is digital HD, 1920 by 1080. The footage looks like it's in 720. We need the full resolution. The sphere looks like it might well have some optical distortion effects. So that is a valid question. So this one is very interesting, and the fact that Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp are the ones that released this video from the military adds credibility to me, because they vet everything that they release. They vet very heavily to make sure that it is authentic. Okay, now this next clip is really interesting, and it also seems to be the least credible clip that we've looked at so far. This one comes to us on X from, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, so please forgive me, Divulgación Científica. Seems like an interesting account if you want to check it out. Now they've got some images here, I guess, still shots where they're kind of zooming in and analyzing it. So if you look at the image, again, it appears to be a metal sphere. Now this one seems to be lighter on the top, darker on the bottom. You've got what seems to be glare from the sun here, but let's watch the actual video. Now this one is interesting because this is in Colombia, right? And this clip was released in May 2025 in Colombia, and it appears to be somebody just filming it with their smartphone. Not from the military, not a declassified video, but let's check it out here. Now this video has no sound. Let me make sure I have the resolution up all the way up. 480p, not great, but you see what appears to be a sphere moving around, not very far off the ground, actually, not too far above the tree line. You see what appears to be an orb-like, sphere-like object, just kind of now see, that was weird. Okay, why did the camera cut all of a sudden to this angle of the sphere moving around? And here's the thing, here's why I don't think this video is legit. I really don't, because the angle cut, and now you see the sphere moving around like against the tree line there, and it just looks like it's kind of hanging there. I don't know, something about it. I mean, maybe it's moving around more. It's not moving very fast. It's not moving in a straight line. It's kind of moving around in kind of a weird, unpredictable, chaotic manner. Now, the question is, why do we not have audio? Why did the camera cut just a little while ago? The camera cut again, and it switched to a vertical for like a few seconds. So it's like, I don't know, this one's kind of all over the place. Why don't they post a video with sound? That is a valid question. No sound, likely a drone far up, and it's attached to a string. So that's an interesting theory. So they think that there's a drone, and they have this object attached to the drone on a string, and the drone is just moving around, making it appear that this thing attached to a string is moving around. Could be true. Why is it never 4K 60 FPS, this person asks. Their settings on a phone. That is a valid question, very valid question, and that's one that I find myself asking as well. This one to me just doesn't seem very legit. Okay, so this next clip comes to us from the New York Post. Now this was posted 10 months ago. It says a news helicopter incidentally captured a mysterious orb-like object zooming across the Hudson River and past Lower Manhattan. Let's go ahead and play this clip. This one is actually pretty interesting because, again, just like the last clip, this is not a declassified clip from the government or the military. This is just something that a news chopper in New York City captured on camera, and it's definitely interesting. So let's give this a quick watch. So look, you see it comes from that direction. You can see it there, really small, and it moves quick and it arcs across the screen, and then it takes on kind of a blue hue. So watch this. So look at that. It starts to turn blue. You can see there that it takes on kind of a blue color, but it does appear to be a sphere or orb-like object. So watch, you can see now they're kind of circling it and slowing it down a little bit. You see it moving very quickly. This one is moving very quickly across the screen. Now they're zoomed in a little bit more. And again, just like every clip that we have seen so far, I have to point out again that there does not appear to be any visible means of propulsion. Now this is definitely not a bird. It's moving too fast to be a bird, and then it you know, it's got that sphere orb-like shape. It turns blue at the end. Very, very bizarre. Let's take a look at that again. You can see it turns kind of a light blue there at the end. I don't know what to make of this one. The fact that it was captured by a news camera on a helicopter, I think they legitimately captured something bizarre and unexplainable on camera. So I don't know, you guys. This one is definitely interesting. Again, it doesn't come from an actual declassified video, but it was something captured spontaneously on camera. Okay, so the final clip that we're going to discuss in today's video is one of the most insane UAP clips I've ever seen of a sphere or orb-like UFO. Now, this one was released very recently. This clip comes to us from the New York Post. This was about 2 weeks ago, September 2025. This clip was revealed and released at an official House committee, an official UAP hearing at a House committee. This is a declassified or leaked video clip from the military, and it shows a Hellfire missile being fired by a U.S. military drone striking a glowing orb flying off the coast of Yemen, which already is insane. Now, unfortunately, with this being, you know, some type of military tracking, I believe you're seeing thermal imaging here, and it, you know, so it's not going to be very clear, but you will see the missile hit the object, and you're going to see something crazy happen. All right, so you see it's moving very quickly. This sphere or orb-like object is moving very, very quickly. All right, it's moving across the ocean at a pretty high speed. You're going to see the missile come from off screen, strike the object, and bounce off of it. Struck the object, bounces off of it. The object keeps moving, but not only does it keep moving, the missile didn't even phase it at all. It literally just ricocheted or bounced off the object. Now, here's what's even crazier. Let's go back to where the missile hit this UAP. So when the missile hits it and bounces off of it, you're going to see 3 smaller orbs split off of this object and go into a triangular, kind of a triangular V-shaped formation. So watch closely. Boom. You see it gets hit. You see the missile ricocheting off the object and flying off into the distance. And then you'll notice, if you look right here, you're going to see 3 smaller orbs. This is not debris. These are 3 equal-shaped smaller orbs that form a triangular V-shaped formation. Now you can see them really clearly right there in a triangular V-shaped formation. Same heat signature, exact same shape for all 3 orbs, but you see those 3 orbs and they're moving with the object. If they were debris, they would have just fell into the ocean, flew off, but they're literally moving with the object as if they're trying to protect it. This is freaking crazy, you guys. To my knowledge, this is the first time we've ever seen official military footage of them striking a UAP or UFO with a missile or some type of projectile. And the fact that the missile just bounces off of it, and then you see 3 smaller orbs come off of the object, and the object just keeps moving as if nothing happened, is mind-blowing. I want to know, what do you guys think about this clip? Because to me, this is the most insane UAP clip I think I've ever seen that's from an official source. But is it real? Is it fake? Is it a distraction? Was this actually a UAP? Was it a drone? Tell me all your theories in the comments down below, and let me know if you observed anything that you would like to point out about this particular clip. But to me, this one is mind-blowing. All right, that is it for the first episode of Unexplained Chronicles. Please comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the clips that we covered today. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. We have so many more UFO, UAP, paranormal, and other unexplained phenomenon videos coming in the near future. And I want to know what you think about the content. So hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. And if you have any clips that you would like to share with me, then email unexplainedchroniclesyt@gmail.com if you have any clips that you would like me to cover in a future video.